How many of you got the BDM report through in the very first attempt? Let me see. Wow, there's so many people in the very first attempt. I thought it always comes back. Everybody says it comes back. For how many of you it came back? Oh, only very few. Okay, so you see, you can turn back and look at it. So all of you complain so much about the BDM project report, but look at it. There's only about like 10 out of the 200 here for whom it came back even once. So I think it's okay, right? When it happens to you, it seems like a very difficult problem, but it seems to be okay overall. The same with MAD, project Vivas and the ML project, the Kaggle contest. You have to keep continuously working till you get past a certain number. It's all tough tasks. I do agree with you. It's a difficult task, and if you look at the numbers, we have our biggest stagnation in that department. Okay, the projects every semester, a lot of people register for the projects, but very few are able to get across the finishing line. So we constantly keep thinking about what else we can do, what else we can do. We have tried so many ideas. All of them have partially worked or not worked. So they've not had great success with it, but we want to keep trying to do that. And let's see. This number has to increase beyond where it is now. We hope thousands of people get over this project roadblock every term and every year, but it's in the hundreds now. It needs to move into the thousands. So it needs that little bit of push, and we're open to ideas in case any of you have. I shouldn't ask this crowd because this crowd has done it and has gotten out. So I have to ask the people who are struggling. They tend not to talk too much. So we'll have to see how to get that data out. But anyway, I think for all those reasons, I want to really congratulate you, and you've come really far. And one of the things when we started this program like 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago when we started this, there was a lot of discomfort with the fact that people have to stay with this program for a long time, right? 4 years. I think all of you might remember the early days, the first term. You may go back and recollect how long it was, and then your battle term after term, making sure you finish all your work at the correct time, making sure you can get to the exam center. So many of you got to the wrong exam centers. Do you know that? How many of you here have got to the wrong exam center? See the show of hands. Look at that. On the day of the exam, instead of going to the center on the hall ticket, they show up in another exam center. And this is a call that we have to make on every day, and then we decide, okay, this person can go, that person can go here. All these kind of issues we have had to tackle, and we have come far, and you can really be proud of yourself for having stuck with it and done this kind of dedicated work to get you to this point in life. That's another reason. And another big thing that has happened with this program, which I'm really very proud about, is the way it has impacted lives of regular people in more or less a direct fashion. Even this morning, it was very interesting. There was one student, I'm not sure if you've seen the crowd, he came up to us and said, he's got a small startup. And this is what he said. I think, are you here? I don't know if I forgot your name. I think somebody he's in the diploma level. It's not finished. I think he's not finished. He came up to me and said he has a small startup that he's running. And the way he put it was, because of this program, I'm making much more money right now than I was before. It was really surprising how directly it has impacted someone who's running a small startup somewhere. He says, because of this program and what I learned in this program is what's helping me make much more money. And it's direct, right? There's no complicated thing like, you learn this and then few years down the line you may get something. It's not like that. It's directly he's making more money. And then there's a wonderful example of a BDM project. Once again, these BDM projects have been amazing. A lot of people talk about AI education and how AI has to reach everybody, how people have to know about data science. I think the BDM project is a fantastic example of how small businesses, very small businesses, unorganized, pani puri vendors, textile shop owners, farmers are realizing the value of data. So our people are going there, talking to them. There is a person who did a BDM project in a textile shop somewhere in UP and detected pilferage of 5 to 7 lakhs that was happening on a regular basis. And that textile business, which was loss-making, now is making profits of 10 to 15 lakhs. So it's amazing. I was totally floored when I saw that. And he wrote to us saying, oh, this has really turned the fortunes of people. And And small, unorganized sector, people who run businesses, the importance of data to them is huge. They can make a big difference. And it need not be some complicated ML deep learning model, right? Just all it takes is looking at some Excel sheets and just tracking the data, knowing what to look for, knowing what to do. And this has really impacted. And in my opinion, real AI education, data science education happens because of such things. When people on the ground literally see how path-breaking this can be. So we have quite a few plans for this. We've brought out a book now on the BDM projects. I have to actually bring up the BDM project team. They're not here. I think Aditya and Ashwin have done a fantastic job, taking complete ownership of it. I have to thank GV and Milind as well for their guidance. They've taken ownership of it and have taken it to a next level. We're bringing out a book. We're going to release that. We're going to make it a big part of this story. And we have similar thoughts on the app dev project and the ML project as well. I think small businesses which cannot otherwise afford app dev units and ML units probably will reap benefits from these kind of projects. Let's see. So I think the diploma level is particularly interesting from that point of view. And the 4 projects, it's an interesting debate, right? We'll go back to the steering committee and have this debate. 4 years back, we had no competition. There was no IIT Guwahati online degree. There was no IIT Jodhpur online degree, IIT Patna online degree. So now we are beginning to see YouTube videos. I don't know how many of you saw it, comparing the IIT Patna BSc degree with the IIT Madras BS degree. So far, there is no comparison of academics, by the way. The only comparison is, what do we get? What do we not get? If I remember right, how many days do you go to campus? Things like that they are comparing. Soon the comparison will come to things like how long it takes to finish. What are the difficult elements in the program? So we will reach a stage, I can imagine, where this project will come up as an issue. People will come and tell us, because you have these 4 difficult projects, we are not going to come to you. Right? So at that point, we'll have to think about what to do. And all these interesting questions are going to come to us, and who knows what this program will morph into. So all of you are lucky also, in a way, that you got to do these 4 wonderful projects. When you look back into your education, I think you will see that these 4 projects have shaped your thinking and your efforts in a fantastic way. So that's nice to see as well. So that's another point which all of us are really proud of. This program has started out in a very small way, and it has impacted in a very big way. So now 4 other institutes are running programs similar to us. I don't know how many of you know about the IIMB program. IIM Bangalore has started an online bachelor's program now. The big institutes are stepping in and starting online programs, and in a large way, this is what is needed for the country. So we are okay. I think it's all right if our numbers go down. It's okay. It's inevitable. But I think in the larger interest of the country, if more institutes starting such programs is something very, very important. So the another thing I want to address, since this Bharati gave me a freewheeling right to say whatever I want for about 10-15 minutes. So another thing I want to address is a lot of anxiety some people feel about what's going to happen with, let's say applications for a PG degree, application here, application there. Now, we've been talking to as many institutes as possible. Whoever we talk to is quite positive about accepting students from this degree program into their PG programs. They've not said no directly. But having said that, I should also say, institutions, education institutions in particular, take a long time to change. Big ones, particularly. They have these procedural things. They do a lot of things. They have to do this first, that first, that first. So many of them are going through that. IIT Bombay, for instance, is a case in point. We spoke to them a while ago. As of now, they are trying to do some changes so that they can admit students from the BS program. Some of the positive things is the UGC, for instance, has come out very strongly towards a 4-year BS program. And once they have that, I think most institutes will add the 4-year BS program into their curriculum. There's no need to worry about anything else. It's just a 4-year BS program that they have to add. We are trying very hard to get many institutes to add. They will do it, I think. But more than that, what will really make them do it, beyond the UGC rules and all that, is actually in your hands, right? If one of you really impresses, say, a faculty in IIT Bombay by doing fantastic work in their lab, believe me, that rule is going to change. It doesn't matter whether UGC says it or somebody else says it or I say it. If you go and really impress, it can even be a single faculty member, right? So you impress them by working very hard in their lab, do an internship, really show what students of this program are capable of, then the rest just follows. Right? Absolutely nothing matters after that. You'll see after that, all of these things will become really easy. And I can tell you that is also happening. It is also happening in some ways. Many students from this program are going out there and doing internships. We've had interest from many institutes to do credit transfer, allowing our students to come and do campus courses and do credit transfer with us. That interest is happening slowly. We're exploring that. All of these things, I think, end up in a way, in a very large way, these things would make such programs, BS programs, acceptable to everybody. And this change takes a little bit of time. This is a big country, big systems in place. It just takes a little bit of time. Stay with us as we work with you and enable all of this going forward. I think I just saw PK walking in. So he's from IIIT Hyderabad. So IIIT Hyderabad is going to sign, I think, MOU with us, which will allow, once again, degree students of the BS program to do courses at IIIT Hyderabad for a very nominal fee, no, for a suitable fee. They are a private institute. They do survive with a fee from the students, so they don't need that support. So they are opening their doors. That itself is a great sign, right? So that the acceptability of students from this program and the value that they see is fantastic to have. So CMI is another example. CMI is a small math school. I don't know if all of you will enjoy the courses there, but still, I think they do have a data science program as well. So you may like doing courses there. Madhavan has been fantastic in supporting us throughout. So CMI is another institute where you can do that. IIT Gandhinagar, I think Neil is going to show up a little bit later. IIT Gandhinagar has been a great support. We're trying to work with many other IITs. Of course, IIT Madras is always there. We're also trying to do so many other institutes of this nature, and even international. We are working with a few institutes abroad to try and enable something like this, but those things take even longer, I can tell you. There's any MOU there, it takes longer and longer. So Bharti being here means I've run out of time, so I have to shut up. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish all of you, once again, great success in your careers. Thank you. Okay, so can I invite the faculty members to please come and occupy seats in the dais so that students don't feel lonely when they walk up and receive the certificate. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Andrew. So he was telling me what will I speak, how will I engage them and all, but I know when he starts, like me, he also doesn't stop most times if he's not prepared to say something for that particular time slot. So thanks. I think you all got a glimpse of what all we are trying to do here, and of course we'll keep announcing as we work out, partnerships with institutes, companies, whatever else that's there. In fact, we have one of our students, Dr. Ganesh here from Manipal Medical College, and we're also trying to work out some things where our students can go into the medical field and maybe do some work along with them too. So even with students, we are trying out, students, of course, working professionals who are there in institutes trying out some things. So Professor Balaji is here. I hope you know most of the people on stage. Professor Madhavan, definitely, you all would have seen 4 courses from him, from the foundation to the diploma level. So Professor Madhavan Mukund is here, Director of CMI. Professor G. Venkatesh is there. He has handled 2 courses in our program and been a constant advisor for the program. So Professor Madhan and Professor GV actually were with us when we were conceiving the program. They were very, very instrumental when, the program was being designed and ready for rollout. Professor Ponnurangam, like we said, Professor PK, like he likes to be called, is from IIIT Hyderabad. He teaches the PSOSM course in the degree level. Then Professor Bobby George is, of course, the coordinator of the ES program, Electronic Systems program. So next convocation and event, we hope to have some of the electronic systems students here getting their foundation, diploma, and whatever certificates that are there. Professor Usha Mohan, all of you would have passed through her to get to here, so she's here with us today. And Professor Balaji Srinivasan is the advisor for Industry Relations and Career Services Division. I would invite him now to say a few words about what we are doing on that front, maybe.
Thank you, Bharti, and a very good afternoon to you all. I wasn't sure I was going to be speaking here, so I just thought I'll take the opportunity that Bharti gave me to just say a few things about placements, right? So there's been a lot of questions about placements. Where does this program stand with respect to that? Sorry? All right, okay. Okay, so and that is like, being a parent myself, I can imagine there's a lot of parents here. So you are like, you are looking at something, you're trying to raise a family, you are trying to see how your kids actually develop and how they go up to the society in a sort of similar way. When we start a new program, we are like imagining, okay, this is how the program is going to be, this is what we're going to teach, and this is how we're going to prepare them for the industry. But then at the end of the day, we want to know how well they are getting accepted in the industry. And that's the kind of phase we are in. It's been a three and a half years since we started. So we are like, okay, let's see how they are getting out to the industry and how they are performing. And it's been quite interesting to hear a lot of feedback from the industry, right? So we have been hearing feedback like, the students that we get through the program are outperforming a lot of similar students that we had from other programs. They are good at this, they're good at that, fundamentals, and so on. And it's been quite encouraging from that perspective. And I think Andrew would probably put out the numbers a little later on about how well we are doing as far as placements are concerned. Of course, it is a very difficult situation economically around the world, and it shows up in the jobs that are available out there. But these days, you'll have to get to the point of thinking even an internship opportunity is like a job, because most companies are, using these interns, training those interns and getting them into their companies. And eventually they're holding them so that they could potentially give a job at the end of the internship. So from that perspective, we've been doing reasonably well. Like I said, Andrew will give you all the numbers a little later on. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to approach me a little later, and we can interact over that. Okay? So thanks once again, Bharti, for the opportunity. And good luck to all of you that are here, or that are graduating. Big congratulations to all of you, and best wishes for your career.
Thank you for those updates. We'll get on with the distribution of the provisional double diploma certificates. So those students who have completed both the diplomas and are continuing with us in the degree level, they get their provisional diploma certificates. So those of you who have completed 2 is what you get here. Because we had a lot of queries from students saying, I've completed 1 and can you give me? But we said this time we're restricting because of numbers, right? So we'll go in the order that we have in the list. I think you're seated in the same order too. So we would start requesting you to come forward. This starts from BD1, BD2. I think the stickers we have given you are with those numbers. You can start. Sindhuja, can you look into this? Sindhuja, can you get them forward and start? So today's event is being live streamed. I think the link is with all of you, and you can share it with anybody on your WhatsApp, on your social media too. Otherwise, you'll have the recording of this too for sharing later. There are enough photographers taking photos. We will also share the photographs with you, maybe within a week or so. You can take it from there. And requesting all the candidates to go back to your seats after you all collect the certificates, okay? That's one request from our side. So we'll start with it. You can start walking in. I'll announce your names. Yeah. Aarti A. Huh? Yeah. Tiruppi collect pannikku. Okay, fine, sure. I want you to take it from them and give it to them. Okay. So anga vandittu pannidala. Yeah, we'll get some people. Get some 2 or 3, no? Okay. We have to collect the certificate. And then give it to them, and then they'll collect 5 at a time. 5 and we won't confuse. No. Mati vainko. Okay, we're starting with Aarti A. A big round of applause. The first student getting her certificate today. Arya Rajoju. Ashik Arun Bobde. I hope you have it. Ashik Arun Bobde. Abdul Ahad Rauf. Abel George, our MC for the morning interactions. Abhay Chaudhary. Not here. Okay, Abhishek Dikshit. Aditya Malik. Aditya R. Akhilesh KR. Alan Pace. Anand K, I think most of you will know him, right? One of the most vocal at discourse, asking questions, answering questions. Animesh Sharma. Anirudh Narayan D. Anjali Panchal. Annapurni Arunachalam. Anshul Singh. Arshpreet Kaur Dhanjal. Arun Kumar N. Ashwini P. Mahesh, can we get a front camera? It's to side, no? Ayush Agrawal. Afzar Fahim Mustafa. Balamurugan. Bhure Sahil Rajesh. Bimlesh Kant. Lekhana Naidu. Chitam Sai Tarun. Deepak K. Divya Katiyar. Donna Mary Jose. Pashmina Mohammad Abu Bakar. Gargi Pankaj Kale. Giridharan MG. You still come from Dubai? You still come from UAE? Okay. Gokul Shyam Sundar, who's come in from the UAE. He's a musician who played this morning, a professional music artist. Govind Soni. Hari Prapan. It is now I connect many of the faces to the names. I see so many names on mails or chat spaces, you know. And then I'm like, okay, this is that person and so on. Yes, Harish Sahdev M. Harshini Natraj, who was again the MC for the morning interaction. Harshit Gunjal. Harshit Upadhyay. Ishika Goel. Janani D. So she's one of the people who I don't know if she spends more time in IIT than her own physical college. Every time they get a time off, something else, and they're half the time only in front of her office, the space that we have in the corridor. She and two more of her friends from there. So that's Janani. Kanishk Mishra. Kavisha Pranav Parikh. Kirupa Krishnan Ji. We've been seeing him since day one of the program, I think, and we're all waiting to see when he's going to graduate because we see him in Paradox 1, 2, and now 3. He's been like the first set, then who ran Paradox, then advisor. So we've been telling him, graduate and get out now. That's okay. Kritika Milin Soni. Mahidhar A. Manan Soni. Milan. Mohammad Hassan. Nandini Kushwa. Nandita Suresh Kamath. Naveen Kumawat. Neeraj Yadav. Nidhi Kumari. So she's again a person that we know and we have seen blossom from Patna, grabbed every opportunity that she could. She went to some 2 ACM summer schools. She was interning with us. She interned at a company. Now she kind of knows the world and knows where she wants to go, you know, that clarity has come. The day one when she came, she said, I don't know what to do. And now she's like, I know what I want. I think a good journey for her. Nikhil? Nikhil Guru Venkatesh. Naufal Rahman. Patil Dhairyashil. Podgante Ankush Baburao. Pragya Singh. Pragya Singh. Yeah. Pratham Balla is next. Oh, Pranav R. Pratham Bhalla. I think he's probably, if he mine our discourse, I don't know, but G spaces, GL group, definitely. He might be the one with the max posts. Every day he has to post at least 5 questions and 5 somethings. He says he has a group of 10,000 students he's in touch with. He helps all of them. Thanks, Pratham, for that. Praveen Chaudhary. Prostab Kundu. Purnendu Shekhar Shukla. Rahul Chakraborty. Raj Ranjan Singh. No? Ravi Kumawat. Ravi Kumawat. Ravineel Singhi. Hello. Richik Majumdar. Rishabh Jain. S. Manish. S. Nitish Kumar. Sahil Sandhu. Sakile Pranay Deep. Shankaran Nambudri. Shailesh Kumar. Shashwat Kumar Trivedi. Shashwat Mukherjee. He's an aspiring budding filmmaker who made that 45-minute thing about the program last year. They had launched a 45-minute video about the program, and he was one of them, the main people. Shet Shlok Dawal. Shibasis Mukherjee. Shreya Singhal, again, one of the people we know very well who's taken every opportunity. Now she's gotten into Harvard for doing her master's in learning technology. She wants to be in that, the education side. She got acceptance from, I think, 5 universities with full scholarship, actually, after doing our program and applying. But she continues with us in the BSc level. Shyam Sundar Ganesh, Srirang Sapte. Shyam Sundar Ganesh. Somendu Patel. Somya Deepayan Maji. Sri Nandini T. Sukanya K. Suraj ARS. Syed Afreen Gawar. T. Kavin Premesh. Tallam Vishisht. Tanu Bhagwant Nayak. Tirumala Deepta. Trivedan Shivaprakash. Ujit Kumar. V.S. Arnav Ajay Krishna. I'm just thinking we are going so relaxed now, but we are going to be rushing in the evening, I think. Vadrevu Bhavna Shriya. So actually 200 were supposed to come. Only I think 110 or 115 have turned up. So we are half almost. Vaidya Saumya Abhijit. Vaishnavi Dwivedi. V. Rishikesh. Vanshika Dushyant Sood. Varun Balaji. So he's also got a PhD admission and he's been with Paradox for 3 years organizing, now in the steering committee, completed his BTech. Ved Pratap. Vedanshi Tiwari. Veeragandham Ajit Krishna Kishore Babu. Vignesh Babu JS. Vineet Kalosia. Vishwesh Singh Pal. Vishwamohan Pandey. Vishwas Kumawat. Yanamadala Sai Nikhil. Yash Chaudhary. We have 3 more who kind of got left out in between, so I think they came later. Adarsh Kumar Gupta. Ashish Mehta. Ashish Mehta. Madhurima Ghosh. So I think we come to the end of this section of today's certificate distribution event, and the next part will be once the chief guest and the deans arrive. I request Professor Bobby to maybe say a few words about the ES program and Professor Vignesh to also comment about our program as a coordinator. Yes. Professor Vignesh, you would like to go first, or Professor Bobby? Professor Bobby?
Congratulations, those who received the foundation certificates and so on. About the BS Electronic System program, I mean, it's very similar to what you are doing in the data science. Only difference is this has got a laboratory component, and the students will have to visit the campus like you have done now. And then do some aspects of the lab. Some aspects of the lab they can do from home itself. We initially thought it may be, I mean, although many of us were convinced, many of our friends said, you know, you are going to have a problem. How are you going to fix this circuit errors that they make and so on? But we found our students are quite, you know, I mean, we didn't face any problem. In fact, some of the students solved our problems. I mean, some of the experiments we said had problems which we have not thought of. And then we were looking at how to find out, you know, solutions for this, but the solution came from them. So, in fact, we realized that, I mean, you know, they are already good enough to, you know, they got the skills to move forward, and it's actually very good. I mean, the satisfaction we got was very good. Another small aspect that we noticed is, it's not small. When the students came here for the lab, you know, from 2 to, I mean, it's from the morning to evening. Let's say after the lunch, you all feel sleepy. But let's say from 2 to 5, we were there, and the students were continuously focused on the experiments. And students from, we have something called some lab in the electrical department. And some of those students were TAs for this program. And I was telling them, see, look at them. I mean, there is no distraction for hours. I mean, if you have that kind of focus, that's all enough in the life. And I was telling them, if you were, you know, given the same experiments, you know, they will be doing WhatsApp and chatting and all that. So what the difference we felt is those who are really interested in electronics or those who have some hobby kind of thinking, they opted for this course and they really enjoyed. They don't need much motivation from our side. We only have to, you know, give them inputs wherever required. So it's a very nice program, those who like electronics. So please tell your friends that there is something like this available, like the data science program. So that's all I wanted to say. Happy evening.
Okay, I was just talking to Professor PK and was telling him he does a lot of things for students. In fact, he has an open form, you know, an application form for internships open all through the year. Anybody can apply at any time, and then he gives an assignment, and he actually takes in a lot of students. Very, very popular with the students who work with him in the institutes where he's been, IIIT Delhi or IIIT Hyderabad, now where he is. So request Professor PK to come and also share a few things and about the opportunities in collaborating with the DS program.
Congrats. How's the Josh? How's the Josh? Yeah, very nice. Now, I was just telling, I actually told her to say, give me some few minutes to take a selfie with you, all of you, a group selfie, and then she put me here to speak. But anyways, I'm a faculty at IIIT Hyderabad. I could recognize some of the students coming here. I think I must have seen them in some of the events before or courses or something like that. Very nice to see many of you get this degree, certificate, all of this. So IIIT Hyderabad, how many of you know IIIT Hyderabad? Okay, then that side nobody knows, I guess. Parents are like, okay, whatever. Very nice. So how many of you been to IIIT Hyderabad? How many of you would like to come to IIIT Hyderabad? Okay, very nice. Yeah, so as she was saying, I more so in the last year and a half, we have been spending a lot of time on all this responsible and safe AI. How many of you are attending tomorrow's workshop? Is there anybody attending tomorrow's workshop? Oh, there's one hand. So we have a workshop here, responsible and safe AI systems. Day after tomorrow, actually, there's a workshop that I'm going to be doing, which is on grad school admissions. Is anybody going to attend that? Okay, very nice. It was nice to hear Bharati mention about grad school admissions students have. So that's something that I do. I've been doing it for the last 13, 14 years, just to get on a Facebook Live session, get people promoted, answer questions for students about how to get into grad school, what are the important things and everything. So responsible and safe AI systems is the research that I do. So how many of you use ChatGPT? Can you tell me what are the reasons you used it for? Shout the reasons. Copying for assignment. Giving a code that your friend wrote and asking, saying, oh, can you just modify it a little bit so that my instructor doesn't find that this is code that was written by my friend and all of that, right? So I think all of us do that. Meaning I would be really, really surprised if people don't use ChatGPT for their benefit now. How many of you have seen the latest editions of ChatGPT or LoRa, Gemini? I think the strengths of these systems are increasing, but my interest of late has been seeing where all they are going wrong, what all things that you can actually find in these systems, where they make mistakes, can you actually build some small solutions and all that. Coming to working, so for students who are interested in spending time at IIIT Hyderabad, so we, as she said, recruitment is across the year. The form asks you some details, but we have some simple tasks that we'll give you. There are 4 different types of areas, tasks that we have, which is you can pick anything you want. The idea was like about 4 or 5 years before, we used to just give one task and say, okay, here is an NLP task, just do it and give it to us. Or here is a graph theory, do it to us. But we got feedback that, look, I don't like graph theory, but I want to work with you. What do I do? So that's why we started doing this 4 different areas. So graph, NLP, vision, and more so privacy or theoretical paper. So yeah, I think it's super exciting to see. I was looking forward for this event. First time when the email came saying that, oh, can you come? I said, yeah, I'll jump onto it. I've been teaching on NPTEL for many years now, but this BS program was definitely a very different experience. And more recently, Andrew just highlighted it. I'll just elaborate a bit on it, which is students, as part of this program that you can actually come to IIIT Hyderabad, take a course that is being taught by a professor on campus. That's the challenge, which is that we are not going to change any of this schedule or timetable of anything of the courses that we are teaching. But if you are interested, anybody from Hyderabad? Okay. So how many of you would be interested in taking this kind of courses? If not just IIIT, anywhere in the country. Let's take if some institutes start doing this more. Yeah, I think it'll be, we would also, meaning I think in the discussion that we have had with BS team, we have also been saying that I think it'll be really, really nice to have some percentage of students actually from this program or from outside, even IIIT Hyderabad. In general, we want about 10% or close to that percent of students from outside IIIT system come and take a class at IIIT Hyderabad. So yeah, look out for the details. The goal is to actually start getting students in the coming fall semester. So hopefully you will hear the details about this. I'm going to be around for the next 2 days. If you're interested, I'm happy to chat with you later. But definitely, if you're interested, we should take some pictures together, selfies, with the condition that you will tag me on the social media and everything like that. Yeah, good luck, congrats. I'll see you around. I definitely wanted to take a selfie at some point in time, whenever Bharati allows me to take, with all of you together in one shot, including the faculty there. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, with great difficulty, I convinced Professor GV, and Professor GV got Professor Madhavan to, and they both agreed that they will share a few words. We never ever get to listen to them in these kind of settings. So I said, let's use the time that we have to get this done. So Professor GV, thank you for consenting.
Thank you, Bharti. So I came in the morning, and then through the gap between then and now, I had a chance to meet a large number of students in groups and interact with them. And one thing that struck me really was that many of these students are actually even doing computer science and also registered. They're doing computer science somewhere else. And they're registered for this program. So when I asked them, what is it that, why did you register for this program? What are you getting out of it? They said they're learning something really useful from this program as compared to what they're doing there. So we have got something right, I think, Andrew, that we can get something across even to students who are otherwise doing a full-time computer science degree somewhere else. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about that. See, man, I've been looking at data of students who finish engineering because I wear two hats. I also am part of a few companies and so on. And I also work with industry groups. So we are looking on one side at the companies and they're hiring students. And on the other side, we are looking at this rather drastic situation that students are finishing engineering programs and not getting jobs, right? So there is a problem. Something is wrong. So the way I see this, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit and then also encourage you to do something slightly differently so that we can fix this problem. So if you look at the, there is an organization which actually maintains statistics of students in who get various degrees and how many of them come out with skills, which are employable skills, right? And then they find that students who complete engineering program, about 1.2 million students complete engineering program every year. And of them, about 60% come out with some employable skills, which means 40% of the 1.2 million engineering graduates are coming out with no skills at all. That's what it means, all right? So that's a very drastic situation, but then one can argue, somebody can look at this data and say, maybe we have too many engineering graduates, maybe we should reduce the number of engineering admissions by half or something. But if you look at the data for other disciplines, like BSc or BA or BCom, it's even worse. Only 1 out of 4 people are coming out with skills which are useful, right, in those programs. So engineering, among all the programs, engineering happens to be the program which has a higher employability than other programs. So if you're a parent and you have a child and you have to put them somewhere, they would want to put them in an engineering program. And so there's no choice but to keep the number of seats, all right? So that's the one hand. You have this situation, drastic situation that people are getting through engineering college and coming out with no skills and therefore not employable. On the other side, you talk to companies and you find basically that the number one problem they're facing, and I can tell you from the company that I started in Bangalore, that company itself, that the number one problem that we are facing in companies is talent shortage, right? In fact, there is a survey that was done last year of many countries. What is the talent shortage in different countries? They found that the number one country with talent shortage is Japan. It's not surprising because most of the people in Japan are getting old. Youngsters, they don't have that many children anymore. And so therefore they have talent shortage and they don't allow immigration that much. So they have talent shortage in that country. But guess which is the number 2 country in the list? It's India. All right? This is a survey of companies. India is the number 2 in terms of the number of companies that report talent shortage as their number 1 problem, which is restricting them from growing. Now, India has so many young people, so many people doing engineering. Why would we have talent shortage in India? So there's a paradox, right? This event is called Paradox. So there is a paradox here, right? Which is that we are having on one side people who are unable to get jobs. On the other side, we are having companies who are unable to get talent. What's the problem? The problem is that the skills that people have when they finish, whatever program they finish, is not adequate for you to work on something meaningful, right? That is the problem. This is a skill gap. And no matter what program you go through, including program like the online BSc where we are trying to emphasize some hands-on, some useful skills and so on, even in spite of that, if you do 4 years of your online degree, you're not going to come out with skills which are adequate. I can tell you that. So the thing to do really is for you to fix the skill gap on your own. Of course, you will get something through the program, but besides that, you've got to do some things on your own. Of course, we have tried a few things slightly differently in the program. For example, you would notice that there is this business of getting you to do some hands-on projects. In BDM, for example, we make you go and talk to a small establishment. Andrew talked about that. And why are we doing that? We are doing that. I know many of you are uncomfortable with doing that. The reason we are doing that is because it gives you skills. It gives you skills of talking to people, and you have to convince people to give you data, do all those things, right? So those skills are going to be very useful to you later on. That's the reason we are forcing you to do that, right? So these skills, you can't learn any other way. Now, what I would encourage you to do is, while you're doing this program or any other program, you should build for your resume, you should build many more demonstrable work products. So the project, the BDM project, for example, gives you a report which you can hand to somebody and say that here is a piece of work that I have done. Similarly, if you have done the other, the application development project, you have some piece of work that you can show to people and say, this is something that I've done, right? But don't depend only on this formal education that we're giving you to build these work products. Try and do something on your own to build these kind of little work products that you can demonstrate to customers. In fact, actually, companies are looking for people with skills. And it doesn't really matter. If you have good skills, it doesn't really matter where or what kind of degree you've got. If you have good skills, companies will take you. But the problem really is to reach the people in the organizations to demonstrate these skills. That's the problem. That we cannot solve for you, even in spite of placements and so on. But you should try and build a resume of skills, work products that you build, which you can show. So I would encourage you very strongly to do as much hands-on work as possible and build these work products that you can demonstrate or show to customers, to your prospective employers. And this is the only way for you to, in fact, actually, one of the things that I heard from students that I was talking to in the afternoon today was that they were telling me how their BDM project they were able to show to somebody, and that helped them to get something. I don't know, whatever it was that it helped them to. So this is very important for you to build this portfolio of skills, right? And with that, I will stop and give it to Madhavan. Thank you.
Yeah, so as Bharati said, I'm here under severe pressure to fill time, I think. So she asked me to maybe go back and talk a little bit about how this program has evolved. As she mentioned, GV and I were part of the design along with faculty from IIT Madras right at the beginning. And so going back a little before that, so of course, I have been for many years in a very small institute which has a few hundred students. And there is a kind of clear gap for a person who comes from a small institution about the number of people who have access to these kind of programs and these kind of interactions with faculty, and how do you fix this, right? So the biggest problem that we have in the country right now is not a lack of resources in terms of physical resources to start institutions, but in terms of intellectual resources to populate these institutions with good quality faculty. So the only solution clearly is to somehow use technology to reach out to large numbers. So NPTEL has been one of the mechanisms for this, and like PK, I have been involved with NPTEL for quite a while now. And so when this proposal came up, and I think it's fair to say that GV was the person who came up with this idea originally, which is that why don't we have a degree program which not just isolated courses in NPTEL, but actually have a full coherent degree program which can be delivered online. Now, one thing which it was a coincidental time-wise thing that this started during COVID, but it is important to note that this program was conceived well before COVID. So the fact that an online program started when online education became compulsory by circumstances is just a coincidence. But once you start with this proposal, then you have to start working out how it will actually run. Because when you have isolated courses, you can look at individual components of that course and figure out how will you do this online as opposed to in a classroom, how will you do it with large numbers of students where you don't have direct interaction and so on. But when you have a full-fledged program, you have to build in a lot of things like what we have been discussing today, these projects. But even when you go to courses which have, not necessarily projects, but where you need to have some kind of hands-on system development kind of assessment, it's not very easy to do online. So it was, I think, a combination of maybe being brave and foolhardy, I think, to assume that this would all get fixed. And I think it's to the credit, I think, of IIT Madras that this whole process from the conception and the initial discussions of the program to the formal approval of the program happened in a matter of less than a year, as far as I can remember. And so then one announces it and one is forced to start. And I think so this is something I'm familiar with. Okay, CMI has been for 35 years an institution which is a work in progress. Right? So I think this is a model I'm comfortable with, that you don't assume that what you have designed is good forever, or that all problems are resolved and no new problems will come. And I think that has been the strength of this program, that through all the different kinds of challenges which have come up as a result of running it, and it has also benefited a lot from the fact that technology has evolved partly thanks to COVID in a very dramatic way during these last few years. But I think it continues to be, and I think it will continue to be, a work in progress. I think that it's kind of very unrealistic and also probably unwelcome to consider a program like this as being a finished product. So what you experience will be different from what next batches will experience. It's slightly different from what batches before you. Some of you have gone through this transition where maybe you saw people with different requirements and now you have different requirements. Some of you are unhappy, some of you are maybe happy with it. And this will keep happening. And as Andrew said now, before this, when he was talking, I mean, it is a good sign that other institutions are trying to replicate these programs. Now, I don't expect that any two of these programs will be the same. And I think that is also a good thing, right? So people have to do what they can do, and students should have a choice to take up what they are willing to take up. And I think that this is the future. I think coming back to GV's point about the skill gap, I think unless students have an opportunity to understand what they should be doing and get a chance to talk to each other and to faculty who can kind of guide them in this, we will never get out of this kind of local minimum where people get a degree but don't acquire any marketable skills. So I think that it's been a kind of up and down journey, and it's been a very, I would say, for people running the program especially, it's been a very tiring journey, I think, and it continues to be exhausting, I know, to run this day in and day out. So even sitting on the sidelines, it's exhausting. So I can imagine how much it is to be on the front line of this whole thing. But I think that it's been worthwhile. And I think the best testament to its is, of course, the number of students who have come and who have benefited from the program and who continue to benefit, but also the fact that now institutions which are very wary about this kind of a model have started coming forward and realized that there is something worthwhile in this. And I think, in that sense, imitation, as they say, is the most valuable form of flattery. And I think that that's where we should be all happy with this program. So I'll stop with that. Thank you.
Want to close? He's not come yet. You can just finish it.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. So the first phase of the ceremony is coming to an end with this. So we are waiting for the chief guest to arrive. He's on his way. So we have some of the deans who have also come. So once they are arrived, we will bring them here and we will start with the next phase where the students who have completed the BSc degree and also the BS degrees will be receiving their certificates. There will also be the first set of alumni from this program who will be getting their certificates today. So we will continue with that. Thank you all. Congratulations to the students who received their certificates now. We will wait for the next phase of the ceremony for the next few minutes, please. Thank you.